How's it going, everybody? This is your host Tea Time, and today I'm coming to you guys with my review of The Last of Us Episode 2 TV series that's on HBO Max. 10 out of 10. I'm giving it right now 10 out of 10. Like, they've done everything, in my opinion, perfect in this second episode. Like, I believe I gave episode 1 10 out of 10. I was like, okay, hopefully, I would like them to keep making them 10 out of 10, but I highly doubt it. This one, episode 2, 10 out of 10. Like, already the actors, they're getting their characters down this episode perfectly. Especially Ellie. This episode, um, Bella Ramsey, that's playing Ellie. She shines a lot more in this episode than she did in episode 1. I mean, clearly, episode 1 was more focused on Joel and everything that's happening to him since everything started. This one shined more on Ellie, and honestly, more on Ellie and Tess, the actress that played Tess. Reasons for that I'll explain in my spoiler section. But from if you played the game, the dialogue from game to TV show is dead on perfect. Even when they add extra stuff in it, obviously it's still exactly like the game. I love it. The visuals, like from when they go into the museum to where they're supposed to meet up with the other fireflies to drop Ellie off, it looks just like the game. The clickers, as you can see right there, they did it perfect. From the sneaking to getting around the clickers to the clickers being there doing all that stuff. They got the movement right, the sound right. Even when they had to like add extra stuff in the TV show because they couldn't like really, I feel like they couldn't really like add certain things in the TV show that was from the game because of they wanted to like. Basically, I'm basically explaining it. In the game, Joel and Tess have to wear a mask over their face because they want to. There's like spores going around, like it's in the air. You breathe it, you get infected. So they have to wear a mask around to get around from that. But I'm guessing like because like they want to like show facial expression, talking and everything, the max will probably get away. They switched it up and added something new instead of that. Instead of spores, they have this what I don't know what's it called, but it's like this little thing on the ground. It looks like almost like part of a tree, but it's like rooted into the ground. And they were saying like if it's like freshly new, like it's not decayed or anything like that, if you step on it, it'll send a signal out underground throughout throughout miles away to where other infected will come, and they will come where you stepped on it at. So let's say I'm in a house right now, and I'm in an abandoned house. If I step on this, I'm like it's part of a plant tree. I don't know how to describe it or call it. Let's just say like I'm gonna call it like a tree stump almost, like piece of like the branch. I'm gonna call it the branch or bark, one or the other. You step on it, and let's say I'm in a house right now. You step on it, it'll send us, and it's fresh. It will send a signal miles away to like had damn near halfway across the city, and any infected that's in that area, they'll hear it or sense it, and they'll come to where you at. Like crazy. That is crazy. I like how they did that. Like I said, the actors are amazing doing their roles. Joel, Ellie, Tess. The new adaptation to like not the spores, but the tree bark branch you step on to signal other infected. The visuals, like you like, I feel like if you played the game, you would really give it a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Especially if you love the game. If you hate the game, then you probably wouldn't. But as far as like I don't feel like you will give it no less than 8 or 9. Like they're really putting their foot in this. Neil Druckmann is putting his foot in this stuff, man. Like he did in the first one, he's putting his foot in this TV show. I love it. I'm loving everything about it. We get to see infected, normal infected, the clickers. I think the clickers are like stage 2. I think they are. They're stage 2 infected, because in the TV show they also explain like how long infected live, and like the longer they live, the more leveled up I guess they turn as they're infected. So we get more interaction with Joel and Ellie one on one. We get to see I can't even say it because in the spoiler side, but Oh man, like this TV show has a very very so far high chance of just being 10 out of 10 all the way. But maybe I want it to be 10 out of 10 all the way because so far it's being good. Oh, they even added extra stuff in the beginning. Like from what I'm seeing that they're doing, they're showing us the past and then going to the present and in a way because in episode one they showed us where the two scientists were talking to like the interviewer about, oh yeah, like if this disease gets out there's no cure, like we're all screwed basically. In this episode they do the same thing but in a different area. So they're showing like what's happening before the infected get bad and then going to what's happening now. That's why she's here right there. I'll explain her in the spoiler section. So I like that. I feel like that might be the theme of the whole TV show. We see what people was doing before the infected got bad to now, and I like that. I like how they're adding stuff in. I mean, of course they have to because like if they didn't, then it'll probably be like a very short um, TV show, and not well, yeah, short TV show, and not just that. Like some things in games you really can't put in TV shows because they just won't work. So you have to add stuff new to make it longer or even better. Because honestly, the TV show is doing a lot better than the game. Honestly, like I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like 10, 10 out of 10. I really can't give it nothing less than 10 out of 10. I'm really looking forward to episode 3. And I found out there's 9 episodes in this TV series. Hopefully there's a season 2, but if like I explained in my review for episode 1, if it's season 2, there's going to be part 2, and it's not going to be as good just because The Last of Us Part 2 was not that good to me. It really wasn't. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will be better than the game because the TV show right now for season 1 is doing a whole lot better than the game. Not saying the game was bad. Last of Us Part 1 was perfect in my opinion. Well, what's um that that scene in that one TV show, The Boys? He was like, it was perfect, perfect down to the minus detail. Everything is perfect. Like this episode 1, episode 2, 10 out of 10. They're doing good. Man, I got nothing bad to say about it. Like at first I was gonna be like, okay, they don't have like the mass scene going on, or I was like, okay, they're not really showing enough infected, but they do. They show a lot, and this one part with Tess, I feel like it was so much better than the game. Not saying that what happened with Tess in this episode was wrong in the game, but they switched it a little bit. See, and that's what I like about this TV show. Also, certain things that they take from the game and decide, oh, we're gonna change this up. It still gives that same impact or better. To me, it was better. What they did with her in the TV show was a whole lot better than what they did in the game. Like, it made me really be like, damn, that's tough. Like, I can't believe like it made you think like, oh, I don't know what I would do in that situation. And I'll explain that in the spoiler part of the episode too. But like I said, back to it. Actors are doing great. Scenery is doing great. The CGI is doing great. The people playing the clickers and everything are doing great. The story so far is doing great. The stuff that's showing before the story is doing great. Just great, 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 great. If you haven't seen this episode yet and you want to go check it out after my review, please go do it before you go into my spoiler side of the episode. For everybody else that's seen it or even played the game, you know what's happening already. Then I'll see you guys in my spoiler section that I'm about to do right now. For everybody else, if you're gonna click off and go watch the episode now, or I don't know, you just don't want to, you want to wait till you watch it later time before you continue my video, then I appreciate you guys coming. Links in my social are down below. Please follow me on all those. Hit the bell to be notified when I go live or when I'm doing other reviews like these. Like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me what you liked about my review. Tell me what you didn't like about it. I appreciate all the support. all the love, and I hope you guys are having a blessed day, blessed night, or blessed morning, depending on who you are viewing this. And to everybody else that stick with me for a spoiler section, we're gonna get into it right now. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, so episode 2 starts off in the past. We're in Indonesia, and they're starting to learn about the virus and everything. The military or police go get this lady right here. I guess she's like a scientist, like a world famous scientist in Indonesia. They bring her in because they don't know what the hell is going on. So she goes in there. She sees this dead body woman on the table, and they suit her up, gloves and everything, all that stuff, and they're asking her to look at her. So that she's acting like, what happened? She's like, oh, she got bit, and moments later started wilding, and they had to put her down, kill her. So they was like, where she get bit at? On her ankle. And she turns the ankle and she sees the infection on the ankle, and she takes a scallop and cuts it. And when she cuts it, you get to see the inside of her ankle like turn into like a fungus, I think, like the deadly fungus that's taking over everything right now. And then when she does that, she goes to the dead woman's mouth. When you open her mouth, you see like the infected fungus just moving around. Even when she takes it out of her throat, it's like moving around, like trying to get to her, and she tosses it and she gets out. Hopefully, I am saying it right. It is a type of fungus, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if I'm saying it wrong. I just know it's some type of very bad disease. So as she leaves and they take her back home, they ask her, they're like, so how soon can we find a cure? And she's like, there is no cure. I have seen many diseases and infections in my life, and there is nothing that can cure this. And they're like, well, what do? You have to bomb. Because apparently it was 10 to 14 other people that got bitten, and they never found them. Like, they ran off. So she's like, you have to bomb everybody in Indonesia, or in the city of Indonesia. And she was like, can you take me home because I want to be with my family? Because it's out there now. Anybody can get it now. And I was like, damn. Like, she was like, ain't no evacuating, ain't no getting nobody out the city. You have to kill everybody. Everybody has to die. And I'm like, see, she was like, I would like to be with my family. And I'm just like, damn, that's tough. And that's why I like this, because like they take you back before they show you what everybody is going through, or the steps they have to take before everything went to hell. And I'm like, that's crazy. But then right here, as you see in the background, after the opening scene, we fast forward to Ellie waking up. They're like hiding out right now because they escaped from from the walls that they was all in at first. And when she wakes up, Joel and Tess like, we gotta kill this bitch. But nah. They looking like Joel looking like we gotta put her down. She's bitten because they know she's bitten now. They know she's bitten. They know she's infected. But Tess is like, if she's infected, she would have been turned. Infected only people that are infected only last 2 days for their turn. And they ask her like, why does Marlene want us to take you here and there? What's going on? Give us all the story. So it was like, okay, cool. So basically, I got bitten. I didn't turn. I'm immune. Marlene wants you guys to take me to where the main base of the Fireflies are. Out. I think they said out west or something like that. Over west, out west. No, they wanted to take her to the rendezvous point that they're waiting for Ellie and Marlene to take her to them, so then they could go further out west and take her back to the main Firefly Blaze to make a cure. Joel ain't buying it at first, but Tess is like, this could actually be real. She don't tell Joel that at first, but she's like basically trying to convince him, like, let's just do it. Take her there, get our battery, and that's it. We leave. But in the back of her mind, I feel like in the back of her mind, Tess is like, I want to do something good for once. We've been doing bad shit for like, 20 years? Let's just do something good that can basically save everybody. So at that point, Joel is like, okay, fine, let's do it. We'll take her. We'll get this job, get our berry, and go. So as they're traveling to where they gotta go, Ellie is asking them questions about like, have you guys seen Affected and all that stuff? Because I guess Ellie has not has no Ellie has seen Affected, but she hasn't seen like bad Infected. Like she heard stories about like, are there um places that you can't go because there's rumors saying like if you go in this area where the spores are at, you'll become infected. And they're like, no, that's not true. But I feel like they basically said that because they know they couldn't put that into the TV show, so they just made that a rumor. Like, no, that's not true. And then I believe Ellie mentioned like I heard stories of like there's like other types of infected out there that are worse than the ones we've seen. And Joel and Tess was like, so that I feel like they're hinting that we're gonna be able to see a whole lot worse infected than the normal infected and the clickers. So as they're walking, Tess starts to ask Ellie questions like, "How'd you get bitten? How old are you?" Like, we're basically the viewers are learning stuff about Ellie. She was like, "I was in the mall and one got on me. If you played the game, if you played the game, Ellie's story about how she got bitten is in the DLC called Left Behind." I heard that later in the TV show they're gonna show us that in the TV show. So that is gonna be part of the TV show. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. But she basically told Tess like, yeah, I'm 14. I got bit. I was in the mall. Thought I got away, but I was bit. Cool, whatever. So so for the viewers that never played the game, this episode we learn a little bit more about Ellie. We also get to see like a little more, I guess you could call it like interaction with Joel and Ellie, because in this episode, Ellie, she's a 14-year-old girl, smart ass, hard ass, all that stuff. But this is why I say like we see more of her character, Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and she is perfect. She may not look like Ellie, but how she's acting is just like Ellie if you played the game. For anybody else that never played the game, you won't think this, but me, I played the game. She is just like Ellie. Like there's a little back and forth between her and Joel. Joel, while Tess was trying to find a way to open like this pathway that they're going, because they had two options. They could go the easy way, which is the long way, or the short way, which is the hard way. The short way they'll run into more infected. Easy way they probably won't. That's what their plan was. So they'll go the long way, so they won't run into infected. So while they're trying to open the pathway to get there, Joel and Ellie are just sitting there waiting for Tess to get done, because she had to climb over like debris to get through. And Ellie was like, "Oh, let me do it. I'm smart enough. I can help." Ellie's just trying to help, but they don't trust her. At this point, Joel and Tess think of Ellie as just cargo. Because like Tess even told Ellie in the beginning, Tess was like, "I'm gonna talk to you like an adult, okay? We don't believe shit you saying. You need to tell us everything that you know for the truth. Because if you don't, I'm not gonna shoot you, but he wants to." Because Joel told Ellie, he was like, if that girl even flinches, I'm shooting her. And I like the little comedy they add in here, because we said that Ellie was like, oh. I'm like, if it was me, I would be like, yeah, that would be it. Game over. Last of Us 2 ends, episode 2 done. But no, she was like, stop that. Yeah, that was a little comedy right there. There was also the comedy like when Tess was like trying to open the door by the debris. Joel also started asking Ellie questions. He was like, "That was a nice knife. Where'd you learn how to like do the stuff with the knife?" But she was playing with her knife, and she was like, "Circus." And then Ellie asked him something. And he was like, "No more questions. How about we don't ask me questions?" It was like a little back and forth, being smart ass to smart ass, basically. But Ellie did ask him. This is where we find out more about the infected, because Ellie, she was like, "How long do infected last? Have you ever killed an infected?" He was like, "Yeah, I killed many infected." And he was telling her like some infected last months, some last about 20 years, because that's how long the infected been out, for like 20 years. And that's how we learn like the longer they last, the worse they become, basically. So after the little scene with Joe and Ellie, Tess was able to open the door and the pathway for them to go the long way. But as they get there, they see like dozens of infected in their way. Like there's no way of going the long way without running into those infected. So they got to take the short way and take the chance of running into like less infected that way. And this is where we also get to the museum part of the story. And it's just like the game. Like if you played the game, they got they damn near got everything just like the game, from the inside the museum to the paintings on the museum to stuff inside the museum. It's just all the same. So before we go into the museum, where they go into the museum, um, Joe Joe explained to basically us and Ellie, and basically us and Ellie, about the new way of infected, knowing about us, and the new way of you getting affected. Because, like I said, in the TV show, they took out the spores. The spores are not there in the TV show, so that's why the little tree branch or bark on the floor that he was talking about. He said like these things right here, we gotta make sure that they're like decayed, dead, because if we step on them, it could signal to the other infected to come where we're at, and then we're screwed basically. So that was basically for us. That's gonna be like played out, but that's like foreshadowing because that does happen in this episode. So they go in the museum, and Ellie's being Ellie, looking around, being amazed because she'd never been outside the walls before. Like if you watch, like I said, like this is kind of like Attack on Titan because everybody, since the infected heaven, they live inside the walls. You go outside the walls, you're either gonna get killed by the infected, or the military is gonna kill you because you're not supposed to go outside the walls. So this is Ellie's first time outside the walls. For Joel and Tess, they smuggled things outside the walls many times in the past 20 years. So she's just being a kid, looking around, being fascinated, and all that stuff. So as they're going through the museum, they see a dead soldier, and not just any dead soldier. He looked like he got tore the fuck up, like face half off, cuts on his body. He's just dead. And Joel and Tess, they know what this means. It's basically like, we got clickers. They could be in here. Because for people that don't know, clickers are much worse than they're much worse than infected. They don't have the strength of an infected, but they're stronger. They're a lot stronger. They're like it's like stage second gear infected right there. That's what a clicker is. Clickers, they don't have eyes. They're like bats. Don't have. I mean, bats have eyes, but bats are like blind. Basically, they use their ears to hear. So the louder you are, that's where the clickers know where you at. So when Joel and Tess see the soldier, they told Ellie, they was like, from this point on, we're silent, not quiet. See how I did that? That means they steps have to be silent, everything, because the slightest noise would trigger these things. So as they're going through the museum, Ellie steps on one of the tree branches, or fungus branch, whatever you want to call it, but it was decayed, so they was good, but it was still loud. So she's like, so they're going up. You hear clicking. I mean, you hear squeaks and everything. And there's one part in the museum where, like, when they go under this debris, it falls, and it kind of alerts the clickers. Same thing in the game. In the game, they're going to the museum, and debris falls, but it separates Joel, Ellie, and Tess. Ellie and Tess are together. Joel's by himself. In the TV show, they all make it on the side. But when the debris falls, all you hear is you hear that shit, and you hear the clicking sound. I'm like, oh shit, they're finna get it. They're finna get it. And they hide. And this is when we first get to see the clickers. To the actors that was acting as the clickers, y'all did great. Y'all did so well at doing the whole acting thing. I loved it. And just how like they like had like them like how they had them made with the stuff on their face, like it looked just like the game. And it was so good. I liked it. So I think it was like 2 clickers that was in there. And it was 2 clickers, and 3 of them 2 clickers, but them 2 clickers probably felt like 4. So the clickers found out they was in there, and a big old fight scene happens. They're fighting, they're struggling, running away, all that stuff. But Joel and Tess are able to kill the clickers. And I like what they did here. I always wondered what would happen if Ellie was to get bit again or scratched again by an infected because she's immune. But like, I mean, is there like an immune off of just one bite? Like, what if she got bit again? Will it like double the impact? Because after they kill the clickers, she sees a cut on her arm from the clicker. Because you can get infected still if they cut you. That's another thing that Tess told Ellie. She was like, "You may be immune, but you're not immune to getting ripped apart because these clickers will rip you apart. You play the game, you know that. You know that." So she's like, "Yeah, just because you're immune to the disease, don't mean you're immune to getting your ass ripped in half." But you know, when Ellie got cut, she was like, "Better me than you guys," which is true because she's immune. So we find out like even if she like gets cut, bit, whatever, she'll be fine. It'll hurt like hell, but she'll be fine still. So after they finally get through the museum, they're able to reach where they got meet up with the Fireflies. But from the museum to that point, we get to see like it's almost like you're replaying the game because how they have it is really like the game. Like at one, even the dialogue, Ellie's crossing over the ledge with the wood. Her and Joel talking. He's like, "Is this everything you hope it'll be?" And she was like saying her lines, but it was just like the game, like side by side comparison, perfect. So they get to where the Fireflies are at, but when they get there, they're all dead. Dead, 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 dead. All of them are dead. Here was the difference. In the game, they got killed by the government. In the TV show, they killed each other because somebody got infected, which makes more sense, in my opinion. I like how they did that. So when they get there, Tess is like freaking out. She's like, okay, maybe there's some way we can contact them. Maybe we can get like a signal. And Joe's like, it's over, it's done, we gotta go home. And she was like, I'm not going home. And Ellie was like, holy shit, she's infected. Just like the game. Oh. Just like, from that point, it was just like the game. Joe was like, show me. And Tess showed him where she got bit at. Just like the game. And I was like, damn. Because seeing it in live and seeing how it looks, I'm just like, dang, that shit was painful. So Tess was like, Joe, this is for real. She got bit. She said she got bit like 2 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, and no type of signs are being shown. This just happened, and I'm already spreading. So Tess was like, you gotta like take her and take her to Bill. I guess Bill is like one of Tess's friends. She was like, take her to Bill, and Bill will help you get her to the other Fireflies. You have to do this, do something, save somebody for once, basically, because I guess they've been like killing people and doing wrong the past 20 years. So this time Tess is like, do this for me, take her to Bill, get her to the Fireflies, save the world. But before that happened, and affected, one of the soldiers who affected came back to life. Joe killed him. But in the moment he killed them, like the fungus the fungus that was on the ground went from him to the ground, I think, and sent a signal to all the other infected that was in the area. And if you ever seen World War Z, they come just like that, like going crazy. And Tessa's like, you guys have to run. I'll buy you some time. She starts throwing gasoline on the floor. Grenades on the floor, all that type of stuff. And this is where I felt more for Tess in the TV show than the game, because in the game, it wasn't the affected that was coming, it was the government. They was coming to see about who was probably still inside the building. The government ended up killing Tess. Tess dies in episode 2. Even though I give it a 10 out of 10, I feel like Tess should have they should have had this scene at least in episode 3. I feel like part of me feel like it should have been episode 3, but it ended after she died, because she died in the game. She died. The government killed her, and Joel and Ellie escaped from the building. In the TV show, though, the affected came inside, swarming, and one of the affected went up to her and basically gave her the kiss of death. Like the little infection fungus that basically like turns people into infected. It went inside of her mouth. Like it was inside the infected mouth, and it went inside of her mouth to turn her into infected. But she was able to blow up the whole building before she could turn basically. But I'm looking at that, I'm just like, oh, like that probably feels uncomfortable, like hurt, all that stuff. Like it really makes you feel bad for Tess in that instant because at least in the game they shot her dead quick. That was quick. That shit probably felt slow, even though she stopped it before it could happen. But just oh, that feels weird. That, just thinking about it makes my skin crawl, man. But the episode ends with the building blowing up and Joel and Ellie basically walking away from the building. So yeah, Tess dies in episode 2, and that's how the episode ends. Oh man, this is getting good. Um, I'm trying to think how far they might get in episode 3. I'm thinking in episode 3 they'll do everything with Bill. If I'm remembering who Bill is correctly, the whole episode will probably be about Ellie, Joel, and Bill because there's a certain section in the game where it's really just focused on Ellie, Joel, and Bill, and then after that, Joel and Ellie get a car and they drive away. Basically, I feel like that whole section right there will probably be about in episode 3 because first Joel and Ellie have to get to Bill. They have to they have to run away from the infected with Bill. Bill has to search them, see that they're not affected. Bill has to help them get a battery for a car that they don't have. Then there's like a big old fight scene with I think it's like a stage 3 or 4 infected that happens in the game. And then after that, they're able to get back, start the car, and leave basically. No, there's some more stuff that happens too. Like Joel and Ellie have another moment, if I remember correctly, in that episode. Yeah, they have another moment in that episode before the car and everything, I believe. And we might get like another flashback with Joel and his daughter in episode 3. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. They might shorten it because it's low key moving fast. It's moving pretty fast. This TV series, in my opinion. But that's my review for episode 2 of The Last of Us TV series. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Like I said earlier, for everybody that stayed all the way to the end, links to my socials are down below. Follow me on all of those. Hit the bell to be notified when I go live. Like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me what you like about my review. Tell me what you didn't like about it. Tell me what you think about episode 2 so far. Who are you liking in the TV series so far? How do you feel about Tess's death? How are you feeling about the clickers being affected? How are you feeling about Joel and Ellie? What are your expectations for episode 3 when it premieres next Sunday? Just give me your thoughts and opinions on everything, you know. Next Saturday, I will be going live on my YouTube to start part 3 of my gameplay of The Last of Us, and then either Sunday or Monday, I will be dropping my review of episode 3. But until then, guys, hope everybody's staying safe, staying blessed. Thanks for the support. Love you guys. See you guys in the next video.